When my grandma died, my dad became the caretaker for her log cabin. It wasn't particularly old, but I'd always been creeped out visiting my grandparents there. The moment he moved in, strange things started happening. The very first time we visited after he moved in, we got there pretty late at night. My dad told my brothers and I that he'd be right back, as he just had to grab something from the barn. The only lights outside were dim porch lights, and halfway between the barn and cabin, which was a good distance away, there was a single overhead light. After only a minute or two, the silhouette of a man wearing a cowboy hat walked slowly under the overhead light between us and the barn. We assumed it was our dad, but he hadn't been wearing a cowboy hat, so we called out to him, asking where he'd gotten the hat. The man with the hat touched its brim, and then we watched our dad come out from around the back on the other side of the cabin. Confused, he asked what in the hell we were talking about. My brothers and I asked, "How did you get over there so fast?" We turned and looked, but the man in the cowboy hat was gone. After that, things got weird. We'd hear footsteps pacing the porch even though we couldn't see anyone there. Sometimes, the footsteps would be in the house, going from room to room, and then to the front door, where we'd hear the door slam hard, but never see it open or close. My dad put up a punching bag because he's an ex-martial artist, and despite it weighing 200 pounds, it would randomly sway by itself. One time, it was swaying pretty hard, and my youngest brother and I decided to ignore it, only for it to suddenly pull itself back about 5 feet and then slam into me, knocking me out of my chair. We moved ourselves and our seats across the room, trembling, and tried to avoid going near it ever again. Sometimes, we'd see shadows flicker across the windows or in our reflections for a brief moment. One time, I thought I saw my dad go down the hallway despite the fact that he wasn't supposed to be home yet. I went to follow, glanced into the bathroom, and saw the shadow of a full-grown man with a cowboy hat on the wall of the bathroom, swaying slightly. I panicked and bolted for the living room. We'd hear whispers from other rooms, or sometimes if we were in different rooms, we'd hear each other's voices call us. Once, my brother and I were watching a movie in our dad's room. When we heard his voice call out to M.E. from the other room, we decided to ignore it and not go out there. I slept in the living room when we stayed over, and at night, I'd hear a man's voice whispering, sometimes joined by a woman who would laugh and call the man's voice, Nick. Eventually, our dad